So here we are. We have an acquaintance. We're taking a stroll one night. He brought it up to me and he said, what do you mean? I gotta change, what's the name of that rod? That ANODE rod? I said, yeah. He said, what the hell is that? So there we go. That's what's happening. We will go through this and walk you through it and show you the tools and stuff we need. So just stick around. We'll see where this brings us with that rod. Here we are with things that you got to look for every year. So it's called maintenance, or things to look for because it's been a year, from your batteries and your smoke detector to, you know, the things that are supposed to work. Well, now we're outside. This is one of the things that should be working. A screen dauber protector, so you have it on your furnace, same thing. Typically, you try to find one that's the same width as the grill, but still it's not too bad. So water heater, that's what we're doing on this particular segment. So there's two things in here. If you have a Suburban, it will be an ANODE rod that you're gonna have. If not, if you have an Atwood, it's actually an aluminum casing, so they do not put ANODE rods. So most of the time, if you have this little, if this cover is a plastic little cover, it will be a typical Atwood. So just check the serial number or the name brand, like in here, it's written Suburban. So here's the tools you're gonna need. Just a couple of tools. This is an option that I brought up, but basically that's what you need. This is one thing, but this, you'll need this little cleaner. I think this is 15 or 20 bucks to be able to spray in there after you take that ANODE rod, as we're gonna show you. You need the typical ANODE rod, which already have tape on there. And you need an 1" 16" socket, 1" 16", okay? This is just a bonus I'm giving you, because while we're in here, I'll show you, if ever you don't have any heat in your water heater, you can actually access yourself that water heater, take it apart, go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get the same water heater connection, which is really easy to fix too. 1" and a half. And this is the same thing. I think I bought this at Home Depot whenever. They're hooked up at the end of the aisles. There's 1" and a half. But you need this thin socket. A lot of time you'll see in the box. You need a flat screwdriver and a Phillips. Don't screw the two wires. So let's get to it.
All right, I just want to show you this. When you go to your water heater, please look at that sealant. So it's not accessible. If you had a leak in here, in this compartment, a propane leak, it would go right back into your habitat. Getting gas going back into your living quarters is actually one of the point of inspection that we have to do to make sure that your life safety is not at stake. So now I'm just going to go drain this. It is going to get wet. I just relieved the pressure from the pressure relief valve. Now on this end, I will have water coming out of here. This might be hot, so make sure, by the way, that you cut off the power before you start doing this project, so you don't have boiling water scalding you as you're taking this plug out.
If you enjoy our videos, we would love it if you'd hit subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and leave us a comment. If you don't know what to comment, just put C4BO, comment for Blue Ox. And don't forget, when you subscribe, it's free.
By the way, if you don't have your power shut off, you will burn that element right away. That will be toasted crisp really fast. They've had this rod for about 1.5 years in here. This is what your rod would look like after 1.5 years in this particular setup right here. Well, this isn't too bad. I'm kind of surprised actually. It's still about halfway. They say if you have 3/4 of your rod done, you should actually change it. Here's the life of a rod, and this is what you have left. So basically between the new one and an old one, so see, this one has about 50%. That's not too bad. This actually destroys and takes all the element instead of destroying the inside of your tank, which is really important. That's why you have to change those rods on the steel tank. In an aluminum tank, they don't have this because there's not that problem. It doesn't occur in an aluminum tank. So now we just got to let this drain a little bit and figure out how to clean it up, and we will do that next. Alright, so now we're just going to let this drain for a couple of minutes to make sure that it's empty before we start washing out with our spigot and our little nozzle that we're going to use on here. See those little pieces out here? See all that dirt? You definitely need to clean this out. Let it drain a little bit more. You can see when you move the water that's inside that residue, you will have this in time, it'll get out. That's not good for your pipes either if it stays in there, so just keep that in mind and continue washing that. That is what you do. You just stick that hose in there. As you can see, there's dirt everywhere. Getting all that residue, deposits, and mineral is the most important part. Here at this RV resort, the water is yellow, so it doesn't help. It makes it look even worse. You go in there and clean that thoroughly until you don't see any more residue coming out. Then you put that new ANODE rod back in there and you'll be good to go. I'm just going to show you the element before we start putting water in there. So as we are waiting for this to drain, we will show you an easy access. So if your water heater isn't working anymore, the propane makes it work, but the electric doesn't work. Most likely, normally, this is where the electrical element that's in your box is where the problem is. This particular model has 3 screws, so you'll need to take your Phillips and you need to take this cover off. Behind here is where your element is. So you have the power shut off, so you know the element is not working. Some will slide off, some of them you'll need to get the screws off, so totally off, so to be able to take those electrical tab off. You can easily figure this one out. Since it's alternate current, you don't have to worry which side you will be putting back the connection in, by the way. So once you're all set and done, you take your 1.5" socket and you'll go right over this and unscrew your element. So you just move those wires, you just slide your socket over it, you take a screwdriver, unscrew that from there. You're going to have that element in your hands, and now you're going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you like to go and change it with the exact wattage and length. So there you go. Now you look like a technician. So what I just showed you is for actually the electrical element. Typically when your propane and your burners are working, actually it's not working on electric. Typically that means that you have an element that is burnt. It's just like a house element. It's the same thing. So now I'm not going to mind my own business, but I'm going to be opening another compartment. A lot of times when they throw these together, the wires that are installed in here will actually be chafed. That's how they put them so fast together. So you take those apart, you take those screws apart, you go behind this. This is a reset button, and see, like this one, you'll be able to see the wires. They'll actually be touching the back end of this wall. So a lot of time what happens is, because you can see the wire chafing on the metal right up there, it will actually chafe the wire and will create a short. So see, this one, you even can see the metal right there. So this is actually touching. So now because it's chafing on that piece of metal, that's how they put those so fast together. Now just keep in mind, when you're having a short, that can actually be one of your problems that you can fix yourself. Here we go. We're at the end of the project. I was talking to Nate about his wires being chafing. I don't know if you can see that on camera. There goes another side of the job that Nate will have to do, which I know he probably won't. When it breaks, at least he'll know where to go now. You just push that anode rod back in there and try to thread it nicely. Don't force it. If it's not threaded nicely, just back it off and do it again. Clean your hole. Make sure that it goes there easily. You don't want to screw up your threads in there. Do it again and clean it. You might have to clean the whole hole where the threads are. And by the way, don't use threadies in there. That's your drinkable water also. That's why a lot of people don't do that. I do, but I don't tell my wife. That's it. Just tighten it up. You're good to go. You have a brand new unit. Now fill it up with water and get it going. But do not turn your power on before this is full. Remember, this one has 12 gallons in there. Let all the water go in there before you start the element. And there you go. You did it again. You also need to remind yourself and think about this. When you are refilling your tank, open your vent valve so the water will actually fill up rather than build up air in there. until this starts getting water. When it starts to get water out of there, you know the tank is full. Now you can turn your electrical back on to get hot water. And remember, it's not about the destination, it's all about the journey.